widely eaten anywhere in the world, and there are countless ways of cooking them. But do you know how to cook them Korean way? Daehatchim, steamed king prawns, is mild and light in taste, that it makes a great appetizer dish for any occasion. Just remember to choose the largest and the meatiest king prawns for this dish. Find out where the finest prawns and shrimps are caught in Korea, as well as how they're eaten in Korea. And find out what is so special about a small town in the southern Chungcheong province on the west coast of the peninsula. Stay with us on More Than Kimchi and add another useful recipe plus interesting information to your knowledge of Korean cuisine.
안녕하세요. I'm Hwa Young-jung and I'm your host for More Than Kimchi. Before we go on, let me introduce to you our cooking instructor, Mrs. Chun Jung-won, who is well known with her research on traditional Korean recipes. She's also teaching the study of traditional Korean cuisine. And here also we have Shanda Jonathan, who will be following the entire procedure of today's program.
Hi, good to be here.
We are making Daehatchim. Daeha means big prawns, king prawns, and jim refers to the way of cooking of steaming. So basically it's steamed king prawns. Sounds delicious.
Oh, we're making daehatchim. Oh, I love prawns. Is this a very complicated dish though?
Oh, I don't think so. As long as you pay attention to each step, I think you'll do just fine.
Okay.
But first of all, why don't we find out what we need for the ingredients? So shall we take a look at the ingredients first? What shall we start first?
우선 먼저 새우 손질을 먼저 이제 해야지 되겠습니다.
And so we don't take the skin off to take the intestines out.
No, you steam while the skin is on. That way you can keep the flavor more intact inside.
Okay.
So these are already steamed then. Yeah, after you cleanse. So before we steam, we need to sprinkle a little bit of salt.
Okay.
And then it's been steamed. I'll just put it back over here.
Okay.
오이 좀 주시겠습니까?
So we're gonna do vegetable. Best of all, we'll start with cucumber.
네, 오이 이렇게 반 조금 썰어가지고 네, 이런 식으로.
So you are making a bite size.
네,
Bite size.
Kind
Okay,
of
so we're a little
just
small.
slanted.
네, 이렇게 해서
Very
썰어서.
pretty.
Yeah, I think this green will go really well with the pink shrimp.
Yeah, I think so. The pink, the green, and then we have here beige color of the bamboo shoot.
Right.
Nice combination.
Yeah, very nice.
가지고 요 소금에다가
Yeah.
네, 이제 소금에다가 절여서 넣습니다.
And you sprinkle salt on
Salt,
this.
right. So if you dump your stuff here, and we'll sprinkle some salt and let it stand for a while.
Okay, and what does sprinkling salt on it do?
That way you take the liquids out from
Okay,
from the cucumber, and the texture is kind of crunch.
Okay.
죽순도 이제
Cut it
이렇게
in
썰어가지고 예, 그다음에 이제 이렇게 해서 넣고 죽순도 납작납작하게.
Oh, nice, pretty.
And now, has this already been boiled?
Yes, it's been
Okay.
already boiled, but it's important not to boil too much. So that
Right.
way you still want to keep that crunchiness.
And so how long would you boil it for then?
예.
Parboil, basically.
Okay. I think I
그래서
should give you.
요거는 지금 데쳐낸 죽순이고요.
Yeah.
네, 그래서 이제
So maybe we'll
요거는
keep yours over here.
이렇게
Okay.
해서 넣으면 되겠고요. 그다음에는 이제 저기서 밤을 한번 손질을 해볼까 싶네요. 네, 그래서 밤
I'll
이제
pass you one
이렇게
here,
Okay.
one for me.
네,
And so the chestnut will also go in this dish.
Right.
Okay.
This is fresh chestnut, hasn't been boiled yet.
Oh, okay.
네, 요것도 역시 이제
Cut it
한입
in
먹기
half
좋게
to bite size.
네, 좀 도톰하게 썰어서
Not easy to cut.
No, not at
Very
all.
hard. We have shrimp there, and then cucumber.
네.
Now we are doing the chestnuts.
네.
Okay.
그다음에는 저기에 또 배가 있습니다. 예, 배를
And
좀
then
썰어
we
놓으려
have this
하죠.
pear called
네.
pear. Very crunch, very nice Asian pear here. Korean pear, I should say.
So that would give it a nice little complementary flavor to
Yes, to the
these
shrimp.
rest of the ingredients.
Right.
And so you peel it first.
네, 이제 배도 이 정도 넣으셔가지고 예, 배도 요것도 이제
To bite size
납작납게.
again.
네.
Okay.
So as usual, the uniform size seems very important with dish too. So what you're trying to do is squeeze out the liquid. So
Okay.
that way the texture of the cucumber becomes a lot crunchier.
Okay, okay. All right, and we're going to cook the cucumbers later.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
수분 좀 걷어주고요. 그럼 대하도 준비가 돼 있고
네.
지금
So we are
새우에
peeling the skin now.
그렇죠. 예, 새우 좀 껍질 좀
Okay.
벗겨보세요.
I pass one to
Thank
you.
you. And so what about the tail? What should we do with this tail?
예, 머리는 떼어놓고 머리는 이따가 이제 이거 접시 앞에다가 이제 또 이렇게
We'll
모양
just take the
낼 거거든요.
head off here.
Right.
Use it as a decoration, and the rest we'll put. Shall we leave the tail on?
네.
So for the decoration, we'll leave the tail on,
Okay.
and just the body part.
Okay. Oh, and then
tail
we cut
part.
them.
And then what the Mrs. Chun did is try to make a nice shape, so that way it will be easy for her to decorate.
요거를 이렇게 이제 썰어가지고
And then you
예, 반
lay your
정도
knife to the
예,
side.
썰고 그다음에
and cut
이것도
in
이제
half.
너무 기니까 요것도 이런 식으로 썰어서
Very delicate.
It's kind of hard to make a nice shape as
이런
Mrs. Chun
식으로.
does. And shall we still cut to
네.
by size again? Oh, I see.
예, 반 포 두고 그다음에
예.
반 또 이렇게 해서
On
내려서
the diagonal?
썰어주시고요.
Okay.
네, 그런
keep it
식으로
over here.
예, 준비를 해주시면 되겠습니다.
And we'll use the tail
네,
for
그렇게 되면은
decoration.
이제
예.
요것도 예, 머리도
then the
준비해
head.
놓고
Okay.
예, 꼬리도 준비해 놓고
So these will all go as a decoration. So
Okay.
the ones put over there. This usually takes a long time to cook. Very slow heat for about an hour. So this has been already cooked for about an hour. So we're going to slice them.
Okay.
You also need to wait until cool down a little bit to make a nice slice.
Okay.
So we'll just cut this as Mrs. Chun is doing. When you want to make a cold beef salad,
Right.
this will be a perfect because it has less fat than other part of the meat.
Okay. And is this the thigh? Is that correct?
Put it all together, all the prepared ingredients over there. If you want to pass your beef over here, we'll put them all
go.
together.
Okay.
그다음에
Now-
이제 요거를 볶겠습니다.
Now the next step is cooking the cucumber. So let's wait until the pan is a little hot. I think yours is pretty hot. So
Okay.
we'll give it a vegetable oil. And remember, in Korean cooking, you don't need a whole lot of oil. Just lightly grease the pan.
And so how long will we cook the cucumbers
This
for?
one we should cook very brief time over high heat.
Okay. Okay. And the bamboo shoots, do we do
Right.
the same thing to the bamboo
Yeah,
shoots?
but we don't cook together. That's what's important in Korean cooking. You cook each ingredient separate.
Okay.
So
And-
would you like to do that
Sure.
one?
And why do you cook them separately?
So that way, because each ingredient takes different time to be cooked.
Okay.
So you want to keep the cooking time
Right.
separately. That way, for cucumber, perhaps you cook it shorter.
Right.
For something else, you might cook it a little longer.
And so everything tastes the way it should taste.
That's right. I think that's one very distinctive, characteristic of Korean cooking, that you do prepare all the ingredients differently.
Separately.
And then
Okay.
cook differently too.
Right.
볶을 때 이제 마늘 다진 거를
예.
조금 넣고 볶았어요. 예.
After you finish the, 여기도 좀 마늘을 줄까요?
예, 조금 주시고요.
And we'll put a
그걸
little bit
볶고
of,
나서 그다음에 예, 즉석 거기다가
this is chopped garlic.
Okay.
And after that, we'll do the,
Bamboo.
I think that looks pretty
Yeah.
good. So right now, things are pretty cooked.
네.
Here, we prepare the
우리가-
shrimp here, the big prawns, prepare the beef here,
Right.
and then we have two kinds of vegetable that's cooked right here.
Okay.
And of course, for pear, you don't have to cook here.
Right.
So let's see what we need to do
그다음에
next.
이제 소스를 만들면 되겠는데요. 저쪽에 유리볼 있는 것
Could
같은데요.
you pass Shanda that one?
그거를 좀
What we
there
need
you
to do is make a sauce
예.
for this
그래서
dish.
여기에다가는
Yeah.
이제 그 오늘 잣을 갈아서
Yeah.
잣 소스를 하는
Yeah,
거니까
yeah. So for those, would you like to try the two?
Sure.
So this will be the pine nut sauce,
Okay.
where you have
Is that grounded pine
yes,
nut?
grounded
Okay.
pine nut, nothing but just pine nuts. You have
Okay.
pine nuts there,
Okay.
and then I'll just pass it to Mrs. John. She can put the. And 이게 선생님 고기 국물인가요?
네, 요거
And then
국물입니다.
2 tablespoons of beef broth.
Okay.
그다음에 또 뭘 넣으면 되나요?
그다음에 여기다가
Sesame oil and
소금도 좀
salt
넣으시고, 네, 후추도 조금 넣으시고,
And-
and a white pepper.
네, 아 거기
네.
넣었죠. 네.
다른 양념은 안 들어가는군요.
네,
그러면요.
그다음에 이제
예.
참기름 조금 이제
예.
넣어주고요.
And Mrs. Chun didn't put any garlic or green onion because we want to keep that delicate prawn flavor
Right.
that way.
네,
So and then we'll mix it all
And so this is going
Yeah.
to go over all the
over
ingredients.
all the sauce.
Okay.
That's right. The smells really good.
Yes, it's got a
Yeah.
great nutty flavor to it.
네, 이렇게 해서 이제 잣을
But somehow her sauce become more creamier than us. I think we have to stir a little bit harder.
그다음에 이제 이거를
예.
준비해 놓은 걸 전부 다
예.
넣고 같이 버무리면 되겠습니다.
So this will be our final step that you mix everything together.
Right. Leaving
really
out the
good.
heads and the tail.
Right.
Okay.
So that we will use later as kind of garnish
Okay.
to set it up. So have the beef and prawns and the two kinds of vegetables, and then mix the sauce in. 선생님 소스가 더 필요하십니까? 괜찮으세요?
조금 더, 예.
Then why don't we use your sauce here too?
Okay.
So pine nut sauce here. You can smell the sesame seed oil.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And we'll assemble. This will be very pretty. That's how you will use the head and the tail.
Okay. I've never quite seen anything like that before.
It's
Usually,
very nice, yeah.
I just get rid of the tail
That's,
and the
that's
head.
right. We just throw them away and then just eat the meat part only.
Exactly.
This is very nice.
It's very,
Put it
very
over
nice.
there. Yes. 그래서 이게 대하찜이군요. That's how we get the steamed king prawn. That you have the meat there, but it's interesting. In Korean food, you never have chunk of meat or only shrimp. Always mixed with different kind of ingredients. So that's where here we have those, chestnuts. We have a beef. We have cucumber, and then
Right.
we also have those, all different kind of vegetable together.
And it's very, very attractive. All the colors together look
Yes,
very
yes.
nice together.
It's very appealing, appetizing too. Ta-da! So this is the daehatchim, the finished product that we are preparing today. So shall we take a look at the procedure one more time?
Korea being a peninsula, it is needless to say that sea is the source of many indispensable ingredients in Korean cuisine. The West Coast has always been renowned for its abundance of shrimps and prawns, among other seafoods. The outstanding qualities of this popular seafood, as well as the fermented shrimp sauce, are recognized nationwide. The wide variety of prawns and shrimps caught in this region is impressive, and they're very versatile when it comes to cooking methods. You can steam, saute, deep fry, grill them, or make soups and stews with them. An interesting method is used in making a dish called daehagui, grilled king prawns. First of all, a thick layer of rock salt is spread under the prawns in the pan to be cooked over moderate fire. Prawns or shrimps are classified into 4 sizes. These king prawns, also often referred to as tiger prawns, are the most expensive of the 4 and have been used extensively in palace recipes. As the salt melts over the heat and turns yellowish, it slowly seeps into the prawns. After they have been cooked on both sides, they are peeled and dipped in vinegar soy sauce, 초간장, or vinegar chili sauce, 초고추장. If you find the taste of the grilled prawns too mild or bland for the spicy salty flavors that you expect of Korean cuisine, you will find Daehatchim, the prawn soup, satisfying. Besides the king prawns as its main ingredient, various vegetables such as onion, leek, Korean watercress called minari, and snow mushrooms together produce an appetizing hearty meal. But Daehatchim would not be complete without a generous amount of red chili powder added at the final stage of cooking. As you can see, prawns can be prepared in many diverse ways to please different taste buds in Korean cooking. And as a matter of fact, certain gourmands pay visits to the region not only for these dishes, but also because the shrimp sauce produced here is known to be of exceptional quality. This is Dokbae village in a small town called Gwangcheon, located in the southern Chungcheong province. As you enter the village, you cannot miss the sight of entrances to man-made tunnels that run through the low hills. It is in here where large quantities of small shrimps are salted and fermented. It was in 1960 when Myungwon Yoon came up with the idea of digging earthen tunnels for the purpose of making the traditional shrimp sauce called 새우젓 in Korean. Delighted by the success of this simple idea, more than 20 other tunnels have been dug since then to carry on the unusual tradition. The secret lies in keeping the shrimps in the constant temperature of 14 to 15 degrees Celsius for a period of 3 months. And after 3 months of fermentation, it becomes the most sought-after ingredient for making kimchis in fall during the kimjang season. Gwangcheon is a small town renowned for its creative prawn recipes and fermented shrimp sauce. This area used to be a shallow water bay once, but as the sediments settled over many years of tides, it transformed into a great marshland as we see today. Each year in October, Gwangcheon town continues to hold annual prawn and shrimp sauce festivals that started many years ago. Especially the salty shrimp sauces made with baby shrimps caught in June on the lunar calendar, called yukjeot, is known to be the highest in quality. Around this time, marketplaces are bustling with housewives and merchants, arriving from various parts of the nation in rental buses. Now you can see why certain people frequent this small town despite its remote location. Not only are the prawns and shrimps caught here of high quality, but the shrimp sauce is highly acclaimed for its taste and texture due to its unique fermentation method. Gwangcheon is just another example of the many special places with interesting secrets to traditional Korean food.
So this is called Daehatchim, steamed king prawns.
And does Jim just refer to steaming or to shrimp, or can you?
Actually, any kind of steaming process you can call jim, but
Okay.
there are actually two kinds. So for shrimp or delicate meat, you will just have a brief actual steaming.
Right.
But remember we cooked how we cooked the brisket?
Which was boiling it.
Boiling it for
Right.
a long time.
Right.
That's also called jim. So
Oh, it
there are
is.
actually
Okay.
two kind of jim.
Okay,
Smells really good.
it does.
The flavor of the prawn and then the pine nut sauce goes very well. You can
You
actually
can
feel
really
it.
taste the pine nuts, even though you use such a small amount of pine nut.
Actually, this could be a perfect salad during the autumn because all those things you will, harvest during the fall. But, these days you can get all these ingredients throughout the year, so
Right.
it'll be easy to
Right.
make it. And it's kind of interesting to use those chestnut in your salad.
And this is raw chestnut?
Raw chestnut,
Okay. And what did she pour over?
those are the sauce she used, honey, and then pear juice and water.
Okay.
And then, of course, a little bit of sugar and salt.
So the sweet taste of it will
Right.
complement this dish
Yes,
very
yes. It'll be very nice. Very nice, yeah. And try the ginseng. And this
Tangy.
ginseng is not a dried ginseng, it's a fresh one.
Oh,
and not so
really?
bitter. Try the ginseng.
well. Let's see if we got some in here.
If you don't have, I'll give you one piece right here. Because usually, you are kind of familiar with those dried shape, but this one is the fresh ones.
Woo.
Goes very well with this honey flavor. So do you make salads a lot at home?
Yes, I think Americans probably
Right,
wanting
yes.
to keep their weight down.
That's right, yeah. But why don't you try those Korean ingredients like chestnuts, dried persimmons,
Absolutely.
and then ginseng? Those are kind of unusual addition to your salad dish.
And it also
Very
seems
good idea.
It would be very nutritional. I mean, a lot of
definitely.
times, we like to put cheese and so forth, but this seems to be a lot more of a nutritional dish.
Yes, yes, and I really like the dressing where it doesn't really have garlic or those strong flavors,
Right.
but just the honey and
Right.
then pear juice and those kind of things. It
And-
goes very well.
Well, one thing I have noticed about Korean dishes is that they like to have a lot of side dishes with vegetables.
That's right. Yes,
And-
yeah, very actually healthy.
Is that the reason for it? Is just the nutritional value, or they just like the vegetables, or
I guess maybe Koreans happen to like vegetables.
Right.
Throughout the whole history. So we developed many different kind of vegetables.
Right.
So as you notice today, when we cook the vegetable, we don't put the whole thing together and cook together.
Right.
We separate each procedure, differently.
because you like each vegetable to taste like that vegetable?
That's right.
Okay.
So even though the final is all together, the cooking procedure is all different.
Right,
So I think
right.
that's very important for you to remember when you want to try Korean dish.
At home.
So you think you can try this at home today?
I would love to try this
yeah,
at home.
it's wonderful.
It's very good.
Yes, very nice.
I think my guests would be quite impressed with me.
Oh yeah, king prawns are always kind of expensive, so it's not going to be really a daily menu for
Right,
anybody.
right. It would have to be guest only.
That's right. Everybody loves prawns throughout the world, whether you're from east or west, and no matter how they are cooked. But today you learned how to prepare them in Korean style. I hope many of you watching found this program helpful for your discovery of Korean cuisine. Thank you, Mrs. Jeon, for coming today, and thank you, Shanda, for joining. So I'll see you next week. 안녕히 계세요.